Hey, Psychiatrist here with a video on monk speed farming for T6 in Diablo patch 2.1.2. I've just come back because of the patch, and I'm really enjoying the changes that they made to monk. One of the builds that's really popular is a Wave of Light build that takes advantage of the SWK set, and you can see up on the screen here that there's a 2-piece bonus for casting Cyclone Strike or a bunch of other spells you can see there. Any one of those causes a decoy to spawn, and then the 4-piece bonus makes it so that when that decoy explodes, the next time you cast one of those spells, you get a 5x damage multiplier. And there's a great build that involves the Incense Torch in order to maximize Wave of Light damage and reduce its cost so you can just cast it like crazy. But what I've done for T6 is found, that's a little bit overkill. It's great for greater rifts and getting up into the 40s with the greater rift difficulties. But if you're just doing T6, it's a bit overkill. So what I've done is modified the build to go for speed first and foremost. So with that in mind, I've swapped out for the Warstaff of General Quang because I happened to get a pretty nice one drop that was ancient, but it doesn't have to be. I was using a regular one before this. And what this does is makes it so that Tempest Rush gains the Tailwind rune. That's going to make you move faster with Tempest Rush. And if you look back at the SWK set, that's one of the abilities that the SWK set helps to amplify. So right off the bat, as I start to do Tempest Rush, you can see I leave my little decoys behind. Right? So there they are exploding. There they are exploding. So we're taking advantage of that still. Now the next thing we're going to do, that's going to get us between enemies quickly by combining that with, in this case I've chosen Electric Field because I have electric damage on a couple of my pieces of gear, so I'm going to keep with an Electric Rune for Tempest Rush. In order to kill things quickly though, I'm going to use Exploding Palm once I get up close to a pack of enemies because it applies it to several enemies and on T6 they just blow up. So it's really nice to move quickly between them, apply Exploding Palm, and again, that's one of the abilities amplified by SWK set. And then finally, I do keep Wave of Light on here because when you get to an elite pack, they might take 1 or 2 hits or a couple of seconds to kill on Exploding Palm. So if you could just drop a Wave of Light on them, if you have enough Spirit to, that tends to just finish them off. And then Mystic Ally and Epiphany I'm going to use to just keep myself topped off on Spirit. So the Mystic Allies with Crudest Boots, which makes it so I have 2 of them, so I get even more Spirit regeneration. So I have 18 per second right now. When I stack up Sweeping Wind, I'll get another 8 per second. This increases it by 20 when I pop Epiphany. And then when I pop this, when I press number 2 here, you'll see that I get 100 Spirit at a time from that as well. So even though I'm constantly draining it with Tempest Rush and then using quite a bit to apply Exploding Palm and quite a bit to cast a Wave of Light when I need them, I have a couple of ways that I can be regaining it quickly at the same time during the run. So other than that, the other speed amplifiers that I'm using, got to get your Warzechian Armguards going. That's going to give you a speed boost every time you break something. And then finally put Fleet-Footed on there, and you end up with something that moves very, very quickly. So finally, you don't need a whole lot of survivability for T6, but I do have Harmony going at Exalted Soul to give myself even more Spirit regeneration. I do happen to have on my Unity at the moment, but sometimes I'll swap it out for SOJ. Unity just kind of makes it so it's downright brainless on T6. You really don't hardly take any hits. So let's go ahead and try it out. So I'm going to apply my Sweeping Wind. That's going to start stacking my Taeguk. And I mean, Taeguk's just going to stay up this whole time. So really what's best is when you get those big packs of enemies where you can just... this guy's shielding, so it's going to take a second to kill him. There we go. It's best when you can get those packs of mobs together. See, one guy... take a second. But if you can get... there we go. Those retching mothers. So elite pack, so I'm going to spam Wave of Light a couple of times just to finish them off. Here we go. There's a pack of 4 or 5 guys. Ran out of Spirit, so I popped my air allies there. Die, there we go. There we go. There's a nice room full of enemies. So hopefully you get the idea. I'm really just running up, applying the palm, the Exploding Palm, and just letting it go off. So, some elites again. shielding again. And like I said before, I've got the Unity on, so I don't even care about these explosions, really. Not too worried if they do hit me. There we go. That worked well. I got all of his followers there. Minions exploded on top of that elite. And, you know, every once in a while you'll get a level that doesn't have this much breakable objects, right? A lot of this is getting the speed boost from the bracers. And so if you don't have a bunch of stuff to break, you know, it does feel a little bit slower sometimes. I'm on Spirit there. There we go. Yeah, just one for him. But, you know, when you've got these gaps between packs like this is where the build really, really excels. Get frozen. Come on. Cast the light. There we go. And if you get a double goblin pack like that, you gotta stop for a second. And then the other thing is I am bringing along an incense torch. So if I come across a full goblin pack with 30 or 40 goblins or whatever it is now, I will swap into my incense torch and just start spamming Wave of Light. Same thing I'll do when I get to the Rift Guardian. I'll switch to that as well. Oh, channeling. Well, with the channeling pylon, this just becomes ridiculous. But I suppose that's true of any build. There we go. Got a speed boost from breaking that thing. Come on. There we go. So again, it's really dependent on having stuff to break and you know, having nice packs of enemies to blow up. Something like this, you can just get the whole group to blow up at once. You know, and there is that damage going out just constantly from your clones exploding as well, because you are running the SWK set, you know, as you're running around with Tempest Rush. And you'll actually see, I originally started out this build just doing Tempest Rush. Just, I called it the lawnmower build. Just kind of, you know, you get to a pack, you just kind of circle around them like that. And that's more the traditional infinite Tempest Rush build. But I was finding I didn't like having to circle back and forth over enemies to make sure they were dead. A lot more fun to just run up, give them the high five, and move on. Come on. Die. There we go. Always great when you get keep depths, because you just know you're going to have tons of stuff to break. The only shrine you really want to avoid, though, is the attack speed shrine, because of course that makes you drain your and I'm going to switch my incense torch and we'll just spam Wave of Light to finish off the Rift Guardian. And that seems like a pretty typical Rift, but given the given that we're doing the double goblin buff at the moment, I'm actually tending to not stop at this point and completely clear the rifts. Just looking for those big giant packs of goblins. Anyways, that is the build. Hope you enjoyed checking it out. Maybe you can come up with your own variation using a different element. I've just been focused on lightning because I got the gear for it. And it's easy to switch back to the greater rift build when I'm trying to push a higher rift difficulty with just changing out, you know, a couple skills and one piece of gear. But let me know if there's any others that you've tried out and you like, or hopefully this build just helped you clear T6 a little bit faster, maybe with some gear you had laying around. Anyways, let me know what you think. Like the video, subscribe, whatever you want. Thanks for watching.